Hey, what's up guys? It's Jess. Welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to announce that I just hit 1,000 subscribers. I am so grateful for all of your love and support, and I'm going to continue to keep posting and growing my audience. I have realized that YouTube is definitely a bigger passion than I've allowed myself to think it was over the last few years, but I'm really glad that I took this year to start taking it more seriously and now look at the results, and I'm so happy. Today's video is going to be talking all about my experience working at Bath & Body Works. This was a very interesting time in my life because I was working 3 different jobs. There were some pretty crazy days in the summer where I started my day by working at the Park District, and then I drove right away to go to work at Bath & Body Works, and then I drove right away to Dunkin' Donuts. I don't work at any of these jobs currently, so I figured I'd share with you all my experience working there, and hopefully it's able to give you some insight as to what the place is like, and if you're considering working there, if you would enjoy it or not. I worked at Bath & Body Works for over a year. The interview process was really simple, and since it was COVID, it was via FaceTime. Overall, it was pretty easy because I wasn't nervous, but there was this question where they asked, what's your favorite scent at Bath & Body Works? And for someone who hadn't gone to Bath & Body Works regularly and wasn't like a super fan, I had no idea, and I said oh, Vanilla Bean Noel. And if you're a true Bath & Body Works fan, I don't think that's like your favorite scent you'd think of off the top of your head. Definitely make sure that you show them that you're interested in their products. I definitely wasn't prepared for that question when I should have, because it's so, self-explanatory for them to ask that. Once I got hired, they have this training process. A lot of it is on the computer at first. So there's a few different positions that you transition between during your shift. Normally you would start, cashier, front of sale, or, in the room between the front of the store and the cash register. There's another section where employees can work, and you kind of shift between all of those. There's also employees that are just hired to be seasonal, and there's also employees that are just hired to do closing and restocking as well. For your uniform, you just wear jeans, a white shirt, and nice shoes. It's very simple. I wore the same outfit to Dunkin' Donuts. I just changed my shoes into something that was more comfortable when I went there. Before I get into the pros and cons of working there, I definitely don't have a lot of stories as I did working at Dunkin' Donuts. It's definitely a different environment in terms of the customers that you interact with, not necessarily a positive interaction, but it's definitely different. But yeah, there was no specific instances where I can remember that was super horrible that it scarred me for life, or super memorable that I loved working there. There's a few people that hit on me all the time at work, and I don't really know what to do with them. You kind of just have to talk to the customers, but it's also like, are you gonna buy anything? Okay, first I'm going to get into the pros of working at Bath & Body Works. The first pro is that you get to learn so many customer service skills. This is so valuable for your resume, for your life. If you ever get a retail job or any job in the future, you need to know how to interact with people effectively. Working at Bath & Body Works definitely taught me how to be comfortable communicating with other people and be confident approaching them, even though I've never met them in my entire life. You are constantly meeting new people at Bath & Body Works, and you're expected to talk to them and have a genuine conversation. So I think it was really valuable for me to learn that skill and continue to strengthen that skill every single day that I worked there. Another pro is definitely dependent on where you work, but I had a super fun team. I loved everyone that I worked with, which definitely made the shifts more fun. Everyone was super nice and loving, and it kind of makes sense because you would expect Bath & Body Works employees to be super nice and bubbly all the time. Another pro is that you get an insight into how business operates. Obviously, you don't get the, full idea since you're probably just starting off as a sales associate, but I learned so much by working at Bath & Body Works, and all of the things that I learned could apply to me starting my own business and me selling on Mercari. There are so many things that I learned from there that I can apply to my own business endeavors. Another pro is that you learn so much product knowledge. Over time, you're able to know what scents go in what category based on what keynotes they have, and it's so insane because there's so many products, but it does get easier over time, and I just really love how I was able to learn all of that during the time that I was working there. The last pro, which I think is the most valuable pro about working at Bath & Body Works, is that you know when all of the good deals are. Bath & Body Works has so many deals all the time, but that does not mean that they're good deals in comparison to the other deals that they have throughout the year. For example, the soap sale. 4 for $20 and 6 for $26 lasts basically the entire year except when they have a better sale going on. So when I see people pay $26 for 6 soaps when normally they could sell for, $3.50 on a sale, I'm like, okay? Especially the buy 3, get 3 free. I don't know. There are just so many sales that don't actually save you money. They just give more money to the company. So I can't really go into that much. I don't know if they're gonna sue me or whatever, but just know that there is most likely better deals than you are going after. Anyone who does not buy a candle on Candle Day is making a huge mistake. Candle Day is the cheapest sale you can get for candles. They're increasing the prices over the years, which is kind of like, but you can return or exchange the candles in the future. So if you don't like any of the candles there, stock up. Come back in a few months and exchange them for the ones that you do like that are released in spring or whatever. Oh, that's another pro that I totally forgot. Bath & Body Works 100% guarantee is so goated. There are so many, not even loopholes, because it all applies under 100% guarantee. But you can really take advantage of that system. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but let's say you have a candle, right? And you use it to, about here. It's used. They can't sell it anymore. You can say, I don't like the scent. Can I exchange it for another one? And they would have to say yes. You can do that with perfume. You can do that with basically any product there. Mostly for returns, you need a receipt, but if you're exchanging it, you don't. I remember this one girl, she had to be like 10 or 11, and she brought in like 7 or so body mists. And she was like, I heard online that I can exchange these for all the new ones. Am I allowed to do that? And you are, under 100% guarantee, which is so crazy because she used all of them to the point where we can't sell them anymore. But she can get 7 brand new ones. So all I gotta say is, if you are shopping at Bath & Body Works, definitely be aware of the good sales, not the mediocre sales, and use 100% guarantee to your advantage. So in terms of wrapping up the pros section, if you are shopping at Bath & Body Works, be sure to be aware of the types of sales that are going on. Normally they repeat throughout the year, so you kind of have an idea of when sales will be. The semi-annual sale is the best time to get products, and there's also some random days where you can get really good deals. For example, there's this deal going on sometimes where fragrance mists are $5.95 or something like that, and that's a perfect time to get it because normally they're $14. Soaps, normally they're 6 for $26, but you can get them for $3.50 sometimes. Same thing with wallflowers. There's a bunch of different times during the year other than the semi-annual sale where you can get specific items for a lot cheaper. Now going into the cons of working at Bath & Body Works. The first con is what's called call-in shifts. So for me at Bath & Body Works, I had about a 3 to a 4 hour shift per day. And then sometimes they have afterwards a call-in shift. And a call-in shift is basically that buffer time for them to decide if they want you to work or not. So if you have a call-in shift and you go to work, you won't actually know what time you're getting off because it depends how busy the store is throughout the day. For example, let's say I work from 10 to 2 and my call-in shift is from 2 to 4 and we're not busy throughout the day. They decide that they don't need me for the call-in shift, I can leave at 2. If at 1 p.m. we're super busy, the store is packed, people are getting in, then they decide to keep me, then I can't leave at 2, which was my scheduled off time. I have to leave now at 4. So I just really didn't like the concept of call-in shifts because you never really knew what time you were going to get off work, so it was hard to plan things outside of work. Also, if you're having a really tiring day and then you find out you have to work 2 hours later after, 5 minutes close to the end of your shift, it is so annoying, especially if you're working front of sale all the time, which is going into my next con, is that sometimes they put you in positions and they don't rotate you. You end up staying there for a majority of your shift. Because my super strength was being super bubbly and nice, it was perfect for me to be in front of sale all the time and say, hi, welcome to Bath & Body Works, what are you shopping for today? That high-pitched seller voice is just stuck in my brain. Even though that is pretty much my genuine personality, it is a little bit exhausting to do that for 4 hours in a row, especially if you're dealing with customers that say, oh, I'm just looking, or I don't want to, talk to you necessarily, and then you're kind of forced to talk to them still. It's hard to keep up with the positive mindset. That's kind of going into my next thing, is that you always have to upsell and talk to the customers and make sure they leave with something in their hands. So most of the time, the first interaction you have with the customer is, hi, welcome to Bath & Body Works, what are you shopping for today? And if they say just looking, you can't just leave it at that. Normally just just looking is the answer, where it's like, get out of my face, I don't want to talk to you. And as a member of Bath & Body Works, they kind of drill into your brain that you have to talk to them, you have to check up with them, you have to make sure that they buy something. And it's really difficult when you clearly see that they don't want to buy anything and they're literally just looking around. It definitely taught me how to have thick skin, I will say that. In continuation of that last point, if you are somehow able to get them to buy a product, you have to get them to buy more products. You can't just end at that one item. For example, you see a 10-year-old girl and she has a tiny little fine fragrance mist in her hand, and the boss and the Bath & Body Works mentality is basically like, force that little girl to get a buy 3 get 2 free. The next con that I will get into with Bath & Body Works is that sometimes in order to make a sale, you kind of have to lie. I definitely wasn't a fan of a lot of the scents at Bath & Body Works. I wouldn't have chosen it for myself, and since I am a minimalist, I never would have bought them personally. But when you interact with customers that you need to make them buy something, you kind of have to be like, oh my gosh, I love that fragrance. For example, Dahlia was popping in the summer and I hated that fragrance, but everyone came in to try a new fragrance. And I would always had to sell Dahlia, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're going to love this new scent that we have. It's so light. I love the floral accents in it. And you even get that sweet scent of vanilla, and you would really, really love it. I guess you can translate this into a pro by being a better liar, I guess. The next con is simply customer interactions. Sometimes it can be a pro and they can be super positive and you can, leave your shift being like, I had such a great day today. Other times you can interact with not so great customers and be like, oh my gosh, I hate my job, I want to quit. Certain customers at Bath & Body Works like to think that they know more than the workers at Bath & Body Works. They'll pull up with a coupon and we ring them out, and then they say, wait, my coupon wasn't applied. Then they have a tiny little fit in front of the cash register, and I have to be like, ma'am, this coupon expired a day ago. Ma'am, this coupon only applies to small fine fragrance mists. Ma'am, this item allows you to get a free item if you buy something. There's just so many instances in which the customers do not read the fine print, which is understandable if they make the mistake, but it's not super nice, I guess, to hear them yell at you when they're in the wrong. The next thing that was really annoying was definitely on the buy 3 get 2 free, when customers would see the items on the transaction thing and they'd be like, oh my gosh, wait a minute, I didn't get 2 items for free. This is a note to everyone who's shopping at Bath & Body Works. It won't say $0 for the items that you get free on a buy 3 get 2 free. It will take out money from each item so that you're able to exchange it or return it in the future, because why would you be able to do that on a free item? Just wanted to put that out there. The next con is closing at Bath & Body Works. I was never a fan of closing. I try to keep my shifts as early in the morning as possible, because opening shifts, you don't really have to deal with a lot of customers, because most of the time there isn't people right away when the store opens, but there are people near the end of your shift, and closing has a lot more responsibilities. People that work during the closing shift set up for people that work in the morning shift, so in the morning shift you really don't have to do much preparation. You kind of just get to working right away. But in the closing shift, you have to make sure all of the items are placed exactly where they're supposed to be. You have to add new products, make sure the bottom drawers are filled. There was just so much that went into closing, and you ended up staying there for an hour or more when all you wanted to do was go home after a tiring work shift. I love putting the items away and making them all super neat, but it's less fun when you're super tired and you want to go home and it's super dark outside. The final con, the worst con that I have had at Bath & Body Works, was standing outside in the freezing cold for multiple hours. Because of the pandemic, Bath & Body Works, at least at my store, because it was an outdoor store, decided to have a little cart on the outside of the store. One person stood there, and anytime someone wanted to come into the store, you had to basically pause them, spritz their hands with hand sanitizer, and then kind of do the uncover from there. This was fine, except when it was freezing outside. We didn't just stop going out there when it got below 30, 20 degrees. The worst part was when managers or bosses say, oh, you're gonna be out there for an hour, don't worry. And then they keep you out there for 2 hours. They're like, oops, just kidding, we're gonna keep you out for 1 more hour. There was this one particular instance where it was literally freezing outside, and I was out there for 3 hours. Not even kidding, 3 hours. It got so bad to the point where 2 random people in the outdoor mall passed me, went to Starbucks, came back and said, hey, we know you're super freezing and they didn't exchange you out yet. Here's a hot chocolate because we know you're suffering right now. It was, that was honestly the best interaction I've ever had at Bath & Body Works. And it wasn't even people that were shopping there. It was people that felt bad for me that I was freezing outside. For that reason alone is probably why I would never ever return to Bath & Body Works, but they probably fixed it by now, and they definitely got better with exchanging people every hour or so, because after that incident, I was like, Overall, I liked working at Bath & Body Works because of the pros, but I definitely say the cons outweighed it just because I wasn't super passionate about what I was selling, and it's really hard to be at front of sale all the time and be super flipping bubbly when you just, you don't want to be. So in conclusion, if you are super passionate about Bath & Body Works products and you love interacting with customers and you don't mind having to, get them to buy something every time they walk in, and you don't mind whatever station that you end up in, Bath & Body Works would probably be a great place for you, especially if you love their products and want to know more about the sales that are going on. If you're not genuinely interested in the Bath & Body Works products, nor do you really like retail that much, nor do you like interacting with customers and the level that Bath & Body Works employees interact with them, then I would say find another job. Hopefully nothing I said in there would allow Bath & Body Works or my old employer to contact me. I don't think I said anything bad. Anyway, that was the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all tomorrow. And thanks again for 1,000 subscribers. Bye!